The situation in Gaza has reached a heartbreaking and deadly new level. Israeli airstrikes have claimed the lives of at least 14 people overnight in Gaza City, according to local health officials. This surge in violence comes as Israel intensifies its military campaign and urges Palestinians to evacuate the area. But here's where it gets controversial. While Israel pushes forward with its offensive, some Western nations are growing increasingly frustrated with the escalating conflict and are beginning to take bold diplomatic steps that could reshape the region. In the midst of this turmoil, several Western countries are moving toward officially recognizing Palestinian statehood. For example, Portugal announced it will formally recognize a Palestinian state this Sunday, a plan it had previously signaled but now has set a concrete date for. This move is part of a broader trend, with countries like the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Malta, Belgium, and Luxembourg expected to follow suit in the coming days. These developments are unfolding just as world leaders prepare to meet at the United Nations General Assembly next week, where the future of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict will be a key topic of discussion. The current Israeli military operation, which began earlier this week, marks a significant escalation in a conflict that has long destabilized the Middle East. Israel states its goal is to destroy Hamas's military infrastructure, but it has not provided a clear timeline for how long this offensive will last. Some analysts suggest it could drag on for months, further dimming hopes for a ceasefire anytime soon. The human cost of this conflict is staggering. Over the past 23 months, Israeli bombardments have resulted in the deaths of more than 65,000 people in Gaza. The relentless attacks have devastated large portions of the Gaza Strip, displaced nearly 90% of its population, and triggered a catastrophic humanitarian crisis. Experts warn that Gaza City is now facing famine conditions, with food supplies running dangerously low. Dr. Rami Mahana, managing director of Shifa Hospital, one of the main medical facilities in Gaza City, reported that among the recent casualties were 6 members of the same family, who died when their home was struck early Saturday morning. Tragically, these victims were relatives of the hospital's director, Dr. Mohammed Abu Selmiya. Additionally, the Palestinian Red Crescent confirmed that 5 more people lost their lives in a separate strike near Shawa Square. Israel's military has not immediately responded to inquiries about these specific attacks. In recent days, Israel has been urging hundreds of thousands of Palestinians sheltering in Gaza City to relocate southward to what it designates as a humanitarian zone. Many Palestinians have heeded this call, leaving the city by car or on foot. To facilitate this movement, Israel opened an additional evacuation corridor south of Gaza City for 2 days this week. However, a significant number of residents remain reluctant or unable to leave. Many are too weak due to malnutrition, too poor to afford the journey, or simply unwilling to abandon their homes again amid the ongoing crisis. Humanitarian organizations warn that forcing mass evacuations could worsen the already dire situation. They're calling for an immediate ceasefire to allow aid to reach those in desperate need. Adding to the tragedy, UNICEF reported on Friday that life-saving therapeutic food intended for thousands of malnourished children in Gaza was stolen from 4 of its trucks. Armed individuals reportedly approached the vehicles outside UNICEF's compound in Gaza City, held the drivers at gunpoint, and seized the supplies. Amar, a UNICEF spokesperson, emphasized the critical nature of this shipment, stating, "These supplies were meant to treat malnourished children in Gaza City, where famine has been declared. This was a life-saving delivery amid severe restrictions on aid reaching the city." Israel's military quickly blamed Hamas for the theft, accusing the group of diverting aid to support its military efforts, an allegation Hamas denies. The United Nations, however, maintains that strict mechanisms are in place to prevent significant diversion of humanitarian aid. Since the conflict reignited on October 7, 2023, following a deadly Hamas attack on southern Israel that killed approximately 1,200 people and resulted in the abduction of 251 hostages. The death toll in Gaza has surpassed 65,100, according to Gaza's health ministry, which operates under Hamas. While the ministry does not specify how many casualties are civilians versus militants, its figures are generally regarded as reliable by the UN and independent experts. Currently, 48 hostages remain in Gaza, with fewer than half believed to be alive. This ongoing cycle of violence raises difficult questions. How long can the humanitarian crisis in Gaza continue before the international community takes more decisive action? Is recognizing Palestinian statehood a step toward peace or a move that could further complicate an already volatile situation? And what responsibility do all parties have to protect civilians caught in the crossfire? These are complex issues with no easy answers, and they demand thoughtful discussion. What do you think? Should more countries recognize Palestinian statehood now, or would that escalate tensions further? How should the international community respond to the humanitarian crisis unfolding in Gaza? Share your thoughts and join the conversation below.